What up? Good morning. Happy Monday. I love you, Rodney. I literally have 12 days before I have 2 years clean. And the way it's going to work is I'll go to my meeting for my 2-year coin or chip. Sorry, I go to the other program. And then the following day, I'll be doing my hike. I'm really excited about that. So it's not this weekend, but it's the following weekend. And I'm going to be doing it with my partner. And we both have some things we're going to put up in that mailbox. It's going to be a really good journey for both of us when you're talking to somebody, doing a hike with them, where it's excruciating, you want to quit. That's up there with road trips. Not that road trips are excruciating, but they can be. I don't know if you've ever been in the car with somebody that, 15 minutes feels like 2 hours. And so it's always good to do those kind of things when you're talking to somebody to figure out, like, is this somebody that I can communicate with? Is this something that, we can have a good time and enjoy, even traffic? And I've experienced that. And so, yeah, it's super grateful for that. I'm super grateful that, I'm at this point. What I wanted to talk about, since I've got like 12 of these left, if I were to do one every single day, and I may do one every day, depends, is if I knew what I knew now, 2 years ago today, I don't think I would have gotten clean for the right reasons. I don't think that, I don't know. I don't know. I was thinking about that, when I was getting ready. I do know this, the incentive would have been wrong, and the reward would have not been right. I believe that when we go through a storm, and we go through many, each storm, if it's proper, it'll be one of the biggest storms of your life. It may not seem like it, but if it's a storm, because I can fuck around and think that everything's a storm, and they're not all storms. Some of them are just trials. It's our tribulations that are the storms. The trials are just, getting through some tough times. But the storms, for me, come with this internal feeling of, I don't want to feel like this anymore. And I'll do anything I can to not, and then not do anything I used to do to not, and create other storms in my life. When I stripped away the drugs and the alcohol, and then I had to really fuck around and feel whatever I was feeling, it led me to writing more. It led me to research, like why am I dealing with this? And then looking up detachment, looking up how Napoleon Hill talks about going through the storm, and how we go through those, and if we do it properly, there's a reward at the end. If we walk through it, there's a reward. And I said properly as if there's a right way to do it. It's just, if we go through it and we actually get through it and we gain something from it. I think it's really important for me that when I go through a storm, I'm learning at the same time. Otherwise, it's pointless. It's just, time just passed, and then I feel better. Learning how to apply a spiritual principle, learning how to apply a tool that got me to this point, that I do regularly, like prayer, If I can't sleep and I'm tossing and turning, what I used to do is take trazodone, or what I used to do is take, something, melatonin, or worse yet, alcohol and pills, just to get some sleep. I can remember there was a time that I would drink shots to get to sleep, and then I would wake up and throw up. And then I would drink shots just to go back to sleep. And I lived like that for a while. I wasn't really, and then I wouldn't feel the thing that I was so bothered about. I wouldn't feel anything, and then I'd wake up, and then at least I knew at the end of the day, if it got heavy enough, that I could go back to the bottle that I had, or I could go pick up another bottle. I talk a lot about drugs on here, but I definitely suffered from alcoholism as well, and how many shots I had to take just to go to sleep, how I could go through a fifth in a night, and maybe, not to compare, I've met people that have drank 2/5 for the night just to get some sleep, and luckily I never got to that point where I had, DTs or tunnel vision or my shakes or any of that. But now I'm in a stage of my life where when I'm feeling uncomfortable, I don't even take a step to, I won't even take and try to distract myself with binge watching TV. I won't go to like a casino, or I won't go to I won't do these things that I know is going to stop me from surrendering to the pain that I'm feeling. I think it's really important for me to surrender to the pain. And I didn't realize that until recently, over the last year, that I'm telling myself to surrender to this situation, but the pain still is there, and I can't get rid of this pain. And when I surrender to the pain, it's still there, but I'm surrendering to it. I'm accepting it. I'm telling myself, okay, this is important. I need to feel this. And now, anytime I struggle with something, I tell myself, okay, I need to feel this. And it took doing that over and over again a bunch in order for me to actually use that practice. And that practice is really not just saving me, but it's helping me grow. I'll sometimes get in my head and be like, man, I'm too old to be growing, right? But yet I'm still here. I'm still going to be dealing with these things unless I find a way to actually work through them, because they're going to constantly come. I've identified myself as an addict, so I'm going to have addict thinking. And if I have addict thinking, then I'm going to use addict ways if I can't use drugs or alcohol or any of those things that I talked about. Food, right? I don't, they have this saying called comfort food. Comfort food for me is good when I'm comfortable and I'm eating that food. If I'm utilizing that to distract myself, I always feel shittier. That goes the same with social media. That goes the same with using these shorts. The shorts have become my comfort pastime. So being able to sit with things and really endure them prepares me for the next thing that's to come. And there's always going to be something next, whether it's a bill or whatever. It's going to be something next that comes up that I'm going to feel uncomfortable. They say to get comfortable feeling uncomfortable. Now, that's twofold. Because, I'll get uncomfortable and I'm like, man, I thought I was comfortable feeling uncomfortable. And that's not what I'm referring to when I say twofold. There is that. Go on a hike, get uncomfortable, jump out of a plane, get uncomfortable, which I haven't done yet. Do, whatever thing you've never done before, you feel uncomfortable doing it, you do it, and you're like, oh, this is not as bad as I thought it would be, right? There's that. And then you get comfortable trying new things. And for me, I went on this journey of, I'm going to just keep trying all these new things. And when I do that, I open the door for like, okay, I can do new things. Which means that other areas of my life I don't have to stay in if I don't like them. Right? That's what I'm trying to teach myself, is that, like, if I don't like my job enough, then it's time to go look for something else. Let's go do that. I like my job, but I'm just saying that I know people, or I've come across people that hate their job and they're still doing it. Day in, day out. Relationships, they're still in. When it comes to people, my character defects come out the most when it comes to people versus places or things. Although, I think the things is right there on the cusp of the people. And I didn't believe that. Well, when I'm in the car business, so when I'm having a bad month, I can feel that same uncomfortable feeling. I can feel that same less than. I can feel that same thing if I'm not producing. And all of these things, this uncomfortability, the answer for me has been the prayer, the writing, going into a meeting and sharing about it, talking to somebody else in recovery or outside of recovery. I don't want to just have it be only people in recovery, although, I hear that all the time, I'm going to only talk to people in recovery. I want to talk to everybody. If I'm talking to somebody and I'm starting to feel super uncomfortable, boundaries are being crossed or any of that stuff, and I'm going to say something that might come across negative, I'm a lot better at saying, hey, look, I'm gonna stop this conversation right now, and hopefully that turns into like, okay, and then it's it, and then hopefully on top of that, it doesn't, and it might change the trajectory of that relationship. I don't know. Sometimes it does, and other times it doesn't. But it's about this self-awareness that I'm learning. I think that for me, this journey has been a journey of self-awareness. It's been a journey of self-discovery. It's been a journey of like the shame and the guilt was the reason that I feel like I'm a good person, even though I did bad things. That shame and that guilt where we're beating ourselves up, I think, I'm not going to say it's healthy, because it's not, but it's important if I want to change. Like, it's necessary. Like, the shame and the guilt is necessary. If I didn't have those things, I wouldn't have had the desire to want to change. I would have felt like everything was okay. And, then probably ended up in jail and still felt like, well, fuck, man, they wronged me, or they caught me at the wrong time. I was wrong place, wrong time. I don't know if there's a such thing as a wrong place, wrong time. I think the such thing is that we're in the right place at the right time all the time, even if it doesn't feel right. We're exactly where we're supposed to be all the time. That doesn't mean that we're where we're supposed to be and it was the right thing to do. It was the right place to be at. It just means that we're exactly where we're supposed to be. Which, if that's the case, then it's the right place and that's the right time. And so I am truly grateful to be able to have the perspective I have right now that I didn't have 2 years ago. 2 years ago, it was more of like, I just need to get to a certain thing and then I can change my life. And thank God for that, because there was a time before that I just needed to feel better. And the time before that, I needed an escape. So going from needing an escape, which is a change, it's a massive action, and then going into, I just need to feel better. And then going into, I need to change everything so I can then start from there, has been my journey. And in that, I got a reward. I got a couple of rewards. And that reward I wouldn't have if it wasn't for all of the things I just mentioned for the last 14 minutes, 15 minutes. And so, this is a little of mine, story wise. And maybe whoever's watching this can identify with it, maybe some of it. Maybe it'll give you an idea to say, without believing anything, knowing anything, to be able to look up and say, I don't know if anything exists. And then somehow turn that into a you. I don't know if you're real, but I need help. Can you help me? And then just doing that over and over and over again until you feel better is a really good tool. Because for me now, I don't have to say I don't know if. I just say, hey, you've helped me before, I need you again. And I believe that never lets me down. And it always comes through. It may not come through exactly the way I want, and it never comes through when I want, but it always comes through, so I constantly do it. And for some reason, I'm still clean, I'm still sober, well, not for some reason. And I'm getting through tough times a lot faster than it used to be like. I mean, there was times I felt so uncomfortable, that lasted for months. Now it's days, sometimes it's only hours. And that's volumes from what my life used to look like. Just the way the way I thought. Volumes. I've tried everything in a healthy manner to change. And if you just keep doing that over and over again, you're going to change. So I hope whoever's watching this has a good Monday, and you're wanted and you're needed and you're loved and you're supposed to be here. If you're here, you're supposed to be here. That's it. Peace out.